Next on Today in St. Louis, hope for Americans in Israel, the new evacuation plan the U.S. government announced overnight.
Gray skies in St. Louis this morning, some raindrops falling for a few of us as well. We're updating your Sunday forecast.
Oh, I'll say it again. Let's go Blues! What fans expect from the 2023-2024 season.
This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
And right now we are focused on a live look at the Gateway Arch this morning. Looking a little blue as well.
I know.
We see some hints of blue in there. Just absolutely fabulous. What a way to open up your Sunday fun day.
I'm surprised you didn't say, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Wake up. Good morning, St. Louis. Good morning. It's Sunday, October 15th. I'm Travis Cummings.
And I'm Mercedes McKay, and I know we talked about it earlier, Scott and I did. Yesterday's gloomy weather was perfect nap weather for the afternoon.
Yes, it was indeed.
It was amazing. We're joined again, luckily, by Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell. And Scott, will we get that nap weather again today?
You know, it's kind of an iffy sort of thing. There'll be a little more sunshine breaking through the clouds perhaps this afternoon. But still, overall, gray skies are out there this morning, and we also have some showers around the area, too. As you're looking from City Park back towards the Gateway Arch this morning, you can clearly see the clouds. And as we cross over the river into Illinois, we actually have some showers on the radar screen at the moment. So downtown St. Louis, yeah, cloudy. We've seen some spritzes, showers, mostly light, 52 degrees, winds still out of the north at 9 miles per hour. It's cool. Now the radar's in the souped up mode here, so there's a lot of green on here that's not necessarily rain, it's just ground clutter. But this area that's moving south across parts of Macoupin County into Madison County and now sliding into St. Clair County. This is over towards Collinsville, Maryville, headed towards Belleville. You're going to get some rain. You've already seen some around the Troy area. There's a little more back in mid-Missouri that's dropping off to the south. So we're going to keep that chance for some scattered showers, sprinkles in the forecast, especially this morning as this upper level disturbance and a little bundle of energy slides on through. It's not a big chance and there won't be a huge amount of rain, but there will be some. Temperatures holding around 50 this morning for us, then back into the upper 50s this afternoon. Yeah, that's it, upper 50s, just like yesterday. Not quite as windy as it was yesterday. We'll see in a few minutes. We'll talk about improving weather later this week.
Thanks, Scott. New this morning, the U.S. Embassy in Israel announced the government will evacuate Americans from Israel by sea. The announcement came just over 2 hours ago. U.S. nationals and their immediate family members will depart Haifa, Israel tomorrow and sail for about 11 hours to Cyprus. That evacuation route is only for Americans in Israel. Right now, some Americans are among those trapped in the Gaza Strip, waiting to cross the border into Egypt. Now, it's unclear if the border is open or not. Some officials claim it's open, but there's no proof anyone has crossed through. Now, here's a map to give you a better sense of the current situation. The Israeli Defense Forces told Palestinians and the United Nations to evacuate this red area, which is the northern Gaza around Gaza City. Now, they had to flee south toward Egypt because all border crossings into Israel are closed. But the south hasn't really been much safer. Yesterday, the Israelis bombed Khan Yunis. Now, that's the biggest city in southern Gaza, and Hamas has launched some of their attacks from there. But it appears if and when the IDF launches a ground assault, it will come from the northern evacuated area.
We don't know if they're alive or dead, healthy or wounded, but we do know for certain that they have been taken to the Gaza Strip by the Hamas.
And overnight, a group of 12 families called Families of American Israeli Hostages in Gaza have urged President Biden to do everything in his power to bring their loved ones home. In a statement, they said, quote, with U.S. citizens held hostage by Hamas in Gaza, America has a responsibility to do all it can to secure their release. We urge Biden to use all means and resources at his disposal before it is too late, end quote. And right now, the U.S. government can't confirm how many of the 17 missing Americans are hostages. 29 Americans have been killed in the fighting.
Today, the Missouri chapter of the American Muslims for Palestine and the Coalition for Justice in Palestine will address the crisis in the Gaza Strip and West Bank. Now, they will call for a ceasefire and distribution of supplies to Gaza residents. A slew grad from Gaza will also speak. That's happening this morning at 9 at Dar al-Jalal Mosque on Dunn Road in Hazelwood. Well, then this afternoon at 4, those same groups will gather in Keener Plaza downtown to show solidarity with Gaza. That protest starts at 4.
And since the conflict began over 1 week ago, local groups have been speaking out against the fighting. The National Campaign for Human Dignity met outside the Robert A. Young Federal Building yesterday afternoon, making passionate pleas for the violence to end. The group says they oppose violence on both sides of the conflict. They're calling on U.S. leaders to reintroduce peace talks between Israelis and Palestinians.
We are witnessing today, at this moment, in this time in history, we are witnessing a tragic but truly avoidable humanitarian crisis.
They also want the U.S. to supply food, water, medicine, and other needs to civilians in Gaza. Now, for a link to our stories on the Israel-Hamas war, text the word Israel to 314-425-5355.
On this week's episode of The Record with Mark Maxwell, Illinois Representative Mike Bost acknowledged his support for Israel. The Illinois congressman is working on securing aid for the ally country. At the same time, his campaign is calling out primary challenger Darren Bailey for a photo of him at a Palestinian-American event while campaigning for a governor back in 2022.
He claims he's 100% with Israel. If you're 100% with Israel, you wouldn't meet with a group like that. This is a policy issue. He's asking to become a person to deal with policy. And you don't stand in front of a map that takes Israel off the map. Now, I don't question him as far as his faith or anything like that. He's a man of faith. I'm a man of faith. But I do question if you claim you're 100% for Israel and you meet with a group that wants to see Israel completely taken out.
Bost recently voted against additional funding for Ukraine, but explained his support for aiding Israel is because there's more, quote, oversight. Five on Your Side reached out to Darren Bailey to respond to Bost's comments, but he was unavailable. Now, to hear more of Mark's interview with Representative Bost, head to KSDK.com.
Today, the St. Louis Area Violence Prevention Commission is holding their second Healing House event at Walbridge Elementary. Healing House is a time for those affected by gun violence to heal together in community. That runs from 1 to 4 at the school on Davison Avenue. Today, a camp in the Metro East will wrap up this year's summit. Camp Choice, Right to Life, draws in teenagers from all over the state, some as far as Kansas City. The camp started back in 2006 to educate and support young people whose lives have been touched by violence. Now, in the past, they've done adult life simulations and survival camps. Here's what one 15-year-old has been learning this weekend.
This is in our community, and since it's in our community, if we know these things, we can take action towards them, especially whenever you find out what your limits are and you're able to go past your limits.
And they'll wrap up camp today by creating advocacy plans they can bring back to their own communities.